It's a quiet question, one that whispers through the stillness of early mornings or lingers during holidays when the house isn't quite as full as it used to be. Maybe your children are grown and busy. Maybe friends have moved away or moved on. And maybe, just maybe, you're starting to realize that the support system you once took for granted might not be as solid as it once seemed. Before we get started, I'd love to know where you're joining me from today. Drop a comment below and feel free to ask any questions you have. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a health-boosting tip from Elders Guidance. But what if that realization isn't something to fear? What if, instead of looking outward, the real strength, the most lasting support, and the deepest sense of security has been within you all along? This isn't just another video about aging gracefully or staying active. This is about reclaiming the second half of your life, on your terms. It's about building a foundation so strong, so resilient, and so empowering that no matter what changes around you, you'll never feel lost, helpless, or alone again. At Elders Guidance, we believe that growing older doesn't mean fading away. It means rising into the most authentic, powerful, and purposeful version of yourself. So in the next few minutes, we're going to explore 6 life-changing foundations, pillars of strength that go deeper than family ties or financial plans. These are the supports that keep you grounded, uplifted, and confident as life shifts and evolves. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear may change the way you see aging, the way you see others, and most importantly, the way you see yourself. Let's begin. When you hear the words financial freedom, what comes to mind? Maybe you picture a big savings account, a fancy car, or a retirement free from worry. But financial freedom, true freedom, isn't about how much money you have. It's about how money makes you feel safe, capable, independent. It's about knowing that no matter what life throws your way, you have what it takes to stand on your own 2 feet. Too often we grow up believing that our children will be our safety net someday. That after all we've done for them, they'll be there if we ever fall. And sometimes they are. But here's the truth. Our children are building lives of their own. They're managing mortgages, raising kids, juggling jobs. They may love us deeply, but love doesn't always come with a checkbook or free time. That's why financial freedom isn't just a nice idea. It's a form of protection, a powerful kind of self-respect. Take a moment and ask yourself, if the unexpected happened tomorrow, would you be okay? Would you be able to cover an emergency without turning to someone else? Would you feel confident in your ability to navigate change? Whether that's a medical need, a home repair, or even a new adventure you've been dreaming about. If not, it's never too late to start. Financial independence after 60 doesn't require $1 million in the bank. What it requires is clarity, strategy, and a little bit of courage. Start by taking inventory. Know where your money goes each month. Are there expenses you could reduce without sacrificing comfort? Are there subscriptions you no longer use, meals out you don't really enjoy, or habits that add up quietly over time? Then take a look at what's coming in. Is your income steady? Do you understand your benefits, Social Security, pensions, investments? And if not, who can help you learn? There's no shame in asking questions. In fact, it's one of the strongest things you can do. And here's something you might not hear often enough. You can still earn, even now. You can turn hobbies into income, teach a skill, write your story, offer guidance from the rich well of wisdom you've built over decades. There's a growing world out there hungry for the insight and experience of people just like you. Consider Carlene, a 66-year-old woman who once worked in accounting. When she retired, she realized she missed the sense of purpose that came from contributing. So she started helping local small businesses with their bookkeeping, just a few hours a week. It gave her extra income, yes, but more than that, it gave her pride. It gave her power. Financial freedom is about choices. The choice to move, to rest, to explore, to give. The choice to say yes when opportunity knocks, or no when it doesn't feel right. It's also about peace of mind, knowing you're not a burden to anyone, that you can help others because your own foundation is secure. You deserve that kind of peace. So if this pillar feels shaky for you right now, don't panic. Begin with what you can control. Track your spending. Create a budget that reflects your values, not just your bills. Meet with a financial advisor. There are even nonprofit organizations that offer free consultations for older adults. Start learning. Empower yourself. Even small changes can create big impact over time. And remember, this isn't about chasing wealth. It's about building confidence. It's about sleeping better at night, not because you're rich, but because you're ready. Because you've chosen to step into this season of life not with fear, but with strength. You've spent decades giving, supporting, sacrificing. Now, it's time to give yourself the gift of security. That's financial freedom. And it's one of the most unshakable forms of support you'll ever have. If you enjoyed this video, comment 1 to let me know. If not, comment 2. Your thought matter to me either way. If your body could speak to you right now, what do you think it would say? Would it ask you to slow down, to move more, to listen to that ache you've been ignoring? Or maybe it would whisper, "Thank you for every small step you've taken toward taking better care of it." After 60, health becomes more than just a topic at doctor's appointments. It becomes the foundation of your independence, your freedom, and your ability to live life fully. You can have money in the bank, a strong social circle, even the most loving family. But if your health begins to slip, everything else starts to feel fragile. And here's the truth. No one can take care of your body the way you can. Your loved ones may care, but they can't stretch your muscles for you. They can't walk in your shoes, literally. They can't make your food choices or keep up with your prescriptions. That's all on you. But that's not something to fear. It's something to embrace. Because when you take ownership of your health, you're not just preventing illness. You're claiming power. You're saying, "I matter. My energy matters. My future matters." And it does. So what does that look like in real life? It's simpler than you might think. Start by moving every single day. Not just when you feel like it, but as a daily gift to your future self. You don't need to run marathons or join a gym if that's not your style. A walk around the block, some gentle stretching in the morning sun, a few dance moves in your living room. They all count. Motion is medicine. Next, consider what's on your plate. Are you eating foods that nourish you or drain you? Small changes make a big difference. Swap soda for water. Add greens to your meals. Cut back on processed snacks. Not because you should, but because you deserve to feel good in your own skin. Think of food as fuel. You wouldn't put dirty gas in a car you love, so why put harmful things into the only body you've got? And don't underestimate the power of rest. Sleep is where your body repairs, where your mind resets. Prioritize it. Protect it. Create a bedtime routine that signals peace, not worry. Now let's talk prevention. When's the last time you had a full checkup? Caught up on screenings? Asked your doctor questions you've been holding back? Early detection saves lives. Stay curious about your own health. Take notes. Advocate for yourself. Because the more informed you are, the more empowered you become. But physical health isn't just about the body. It's also about how you feel in that body. Do you feel confident walking upstairs? Are you comfortable in your clothes? Do you still enjoy moving, bending, reaching? If not, what can you do today to change that? Maybe it's a short walk. Maybe it's signing up for a local Tai Chi class. Maybe it's simply standing up during commercial breaks. Even small efforts count when done consistently. Consider Robert, a 72-year-old man who hadn't exercised in over a decade. After a minor fall scared him, he decided it was time to change. He began with 5 minutes of stretching each morning, then added a daily walk to the mailbox. Within months, he was walking a mile a day, breathing easier, and most importantly, feeling like himself again. That's what health gives you, a sense of self. Not the younger version of you, but the wiser, stronger one. Still full of life, still capable, still here. So take a moment and check in. Are you treating your body like something to endure or something to celebrate? Because it's carried you through decades, through joy and heartbreak, through change and challenge. It deserves your care, your respect, your commitment. The most powerful support you will ever have in life is your own strength. And the beautiful thing is, you can build more of it, no matter your age. Every step, every stretch, every bite, every breath, it all adds up. Your health is your daily power source. Let it be your ally. When was the last time you felt truly seen, truly heard by someone who wasn't related to you? It's easy to underestimate the power of human connection until the room feels too quiet, or a day passes without a single meaningful conversation. As we get older, our circles naturally shift. Children grow up and move away. Friends retire, relocate, or pass on. And if we're not intentional, the vibrant network we once enjoyed begins to quietly fade. But here's something vital to remember. Loneliness isn't just a feeling. It's a health risk. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness can impact your heart, your immune system, even your memory. The good news? You have the power to change that. Social connection isn't a luxury, it's a life force, a necessity, a reminder that no matter your age, you still belong, you still matter, and your story is still unfolding. Let's reimagine what social life can look like after 60. It starts with intention. Think beyond your immediate family. Who do you see regularly? Who makes you smile? Who brings out your laughter, your curiosity, your sense of ease? If that list is short, that's okay. It simply means it's time to grow it. Reach out to old friends. Join a book club, a walking group, or a cooking class. If mobility is a challenge, consider online communities. There are vibrant spaces where people your age gather, share, and support each other. From Facebook groups to Zoom meetups focused on hobbies, wellness, or life stories. Remember Margaret? At 73, she found herself staring at the same four walls day after day. Her children visited when they could, but she longed for deeper connection. One afternoon, she dusted off her old painting supplies and joined a local art class. Not only did she rediscover a passion, she made 3 new friends. Now, they meet every Tuesday to paint, chat, and share coffee. Her days are brighter, not because someone showed up for her, but because she showed up for herself. Connection isn't just about having people around. It's about being part of something, feeling needed, feeling known. That's the beauty of community. It gives us back our reflection. You are not invisible. You are not past your prime. You are a vibrant, interesting, valuable human being. And someone out there is waiting to meet you, talk with you, and share life with you. So here's a powerful idea. Start your own gathering. Host a wisdom circle where people can share life lessons and stories. Start a coffee club at your local library or faith center. Organize monthly potlucks with neighbors. Invite younger generations to learn from your experience, whether it's sewing, fixing things, or navigating life with grace. You have more to give than you know, and people are more open than you might think. Worried about rejection? That's normal, but connection often starts with a small hello, a compliment, a shared moment. Most friendships begin not with grand gestures, but simple ones. And let's not forget laughter. Do things that bring you joy. Watch comedies, dance without music, sing badly and proudly. Laughter is healing. It connects us instantly, softens our defenses, and reminds us not to take life too seriously. You can also find connection in giving. Volunteer, mentor, listen. The act of showing up for others has a beautiful way of bringing us closer to ourselves. It reminds us of our purpose, our compassion, and our shared humanity. Whether it's a neighbor you wave to each morning or a new friend you meet online, every connection matters. Every moment of shared humanity adds richness to your life. You were never meant to walk this road alone, so take a breath. Look around. The world is full of kind, curious, open-hearted people, just like you. Let them in. And just as importantly, let yourself out. You are the heartbeat of every room you walk into. The conversation no one else can have. The presence that brings warmth, history, and perspective. Your social connections aren't behind you. They're waiting, right here, right now. Reach for them. If you woke up tomorrow with no obligations, no demands, just time and space, what would you do with it? Would you write? Would you teach? Would you build, travel, explore, or simply breathe in a little deeper, knowing your time is your own? After retirement, after the kids are grown, after the schedule isn't so full anymore, something else tends to empty out too: our sense of direction. When you've spent decades being the caretaker, the provider, the partner, the rock, what happens when those roles shift? It can feel disorienting, even painful. Like you've been quietly erased from the world's important list. But hear this clearly, you still matter, deeply, and your purpose didn't retire when your job did. It didn't fade when your children moved out. It's still right here, within you, waiting for its next expression. Because purpose isn't a title, It's not a paycheck or a to-do list. It's the fire that fuels your day, the why behind your mornings, the thing that makes your eyes light up when you talk about it. Purpose can be quiet, it can be humble, but it's never meaningless. Think about George, a retired engineer. After leaving the workforce, he found himself drifting, watching TV, organizing the garage, doing crossword puzzles. But something was missing, so he started volunteering at a local middle school, helping kids build birdhouses and simple machines. Before long, he had a new reason to wake up in the morning. Kids who needed him, ideas he could share, smiles he could spark. He wasn't just passing time, he was shaping futures. That's the beauty of purpose. It breathes new life into everything it touches, and it looks different for everyone. Maybe for you, purpose means learning something new, taking a class, mastering a skill, diving into a subject you've always loved but never had time for. Maybe it's creating, writing a book, painting a canvas, restoring old furniture. Maybe it's preserving stories, family history, or wisdom that could inspire future generations. Maybe it's giving, mentoring someone younger, volunteering in your community, helping a neighbor who lives alone. Purpose doesn't have to be global, it just has to be real. Or maybe it's personal, setting new goals for your health, your mindset, your daily joy. Maybe it's simply waking up and asking, how can I make today matter? Because here's the truth no one tells you enough. You don't need permission to matter. You already do. You don't need a boss to tell you you're valuable or a paycheck to prove your worth. You're valuable because you're here, and your life is still unfolding. Think about creating a legacy project, a collection of stories, letters, recipes, or values you want to pass on, not just for your family, but for yourself, to remember what you've lived, what you've overcome, and what still burns bright in your heart. Or consider a 50 before 80 list, a playful yet powerful challenge to keep dreaming, growing, and reaching. Visit that place you've always wanted to see. Learn a new instrument, start a podcast, even if only 5 people listen. It's not about outcomes, it's about energy. And the more you engage with purpose, the more alive you feel. It clears away the fog. It brings color back to your days. It reconnects you with the part of yourself that never stopped wanting to make an impact. Because when you're fueled by purpose, you stand taller, speak louder, smile more often, and others feel it too. There's a magnetism to a person who knows why they wake up each day. So take a breath, close your eyes, and ask yourself gently, what do I love? What brings me peace? What stirs my spirit? Start there. Your purpose doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. And whether it's whispered through quiet mornings or shouted through bold new adventures, it's worth pursuing. Because you're worth pursuing. You haven't been forgotten. You haven't run out of dreams. You haven't passed your purpose. You are living it right here, right now. What's one thing that always brings you back to peace? Maybe it's the sound of morning birdsong drifting through your kitchen window. Maybe it's a favorite chair, a treasured photo, or the scent of something warm baking in the oven. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the quiet voice inside you that says, I've made it through before, and I can do it again. Because emotional strength doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It whispers. And when you're still enough to listen, it changes everything. Life after 60 can be beautiful, but it can also be heavy. You've loved deeply and maybe lost just as deeply. You've witnessed change in your body, your friendships, your family dynamic. There are days filled with joy and others tinged with loneliness, grief, or uncertainty. That's real. That's human. But here's a truth many people don't talk about. Your emotions aren't a weakness. They're your compass, your signal lights. They remind you that you're still engaged with life, still feeling, still growing. Emotional strength doesn't mean never crying. It doesn't mean pretending everything's fine. It means knowing how to face what's real and still choosing to move forward with grace. And that kind of strength, it's learned, it's built, it's nurtured over time. It starts with allowing yourself to feel without judgment. When sadness visits, welcome it like an old friend with a story to tell. When fear knocks, ask what it's here to teach you. When joy bubbles up unexpectedly, hold it close like a warm memory. Then practice kindness to yourself. One simple yet powerful tool is writing a letter to your younger self. Sit down somewhere quiet, take a deep breath, and begin with, Dear me. Tell your younger self what you wish they'd known. Thank them for surviving. Forgive them for the mistakes they didn't know were mistakes. Let that letter become a bridge between who you were, who you are, and who you're still becoming. Next, try gratitude journaling. Not the kind that feels like a chore, but the kind that's honest, even on the hard days. Each night, write down 3 good things that happened. They don't have to be big. In fact, the smaller, the better. The soup was perfect tonight. My knees didn't ache on the stairs. I heard from an old friend. When you train your brain to look for goodness, it starts finding more of it. And that creates emotional resilience, the ability to stay upright, even when the winds of life blow hard. Another tool? Stillness. Not the kind that feels empty, but the kind that fills you back up. Take 5 minutes each morning or evening to simply breathe. In through your nose, slow and steady. Hold, then out through your mouth, as if releasing everything you no longer need. Close your eyes. Feel the chair beneath you. Let your thoughts drift by like clouds. Don't chase them. Just notice them, and then let them go. This is meditation in its simplest form. No incense, no chanting, just presence, just peace. And it works. Take the story of Helen, a 78-year-old widow who spent over a year in the deep fog of grief after losing her husband of 40 years. She tried to keep busy. TV, puzzles, short walks, but nothing touched the ache inside. Until one day she found an old notebook filled with poems she'd written in her 30s. Reading them brought her to tears. Not just for what she'd lost, but for the version of herself she'd forgotten. So she picked up a pen. She began writing again. About sorrow, yes, but also about resilience, humor, hope. She joined a local writing group and shared her work aloud for the first time in decades. And in that sharing, something shifted. She wasn't just surviving anymore. She was reconnecting, rebuilding, reclaiming joy. Poetry didn't fix her pain, but it gave her a place to hold it. And in that space, healing began. That's emotional strength. It's not perfection. It's not a straight line. It's having tools in your pocket for the hard days and the courage to use them. It's knowing where to go when life gets stormy, not to hide, but to anchor yourself. And sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is simply sit with someone else's pain, or let someone sit with yours. Connection, emotional connection, isn't about fixing. It's about witnessing, saying, I see you, I hear you, you're not alone. So give yourself permission to ask for support. Whether it's a therapist, a friend, a spiritual mentor, or a support group, leaning in doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Because even the strongest trees bend with the wind. It's how they survive. And remember, healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means finding ways to carry your memories, your heartbreaks, and your hope together, without being weighed down by any one of them. You are not too old to begin again. You are not too broken to feel whole. You are not too late to build a life that feels deeply good from the inside out. Every tear you've cried, every loss you've endured, every challenge you've faced has carved out space within you for empathy, for growth, for strength. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, what's one thing that always brings me back to peace? And then do that thing. Maybe it's journaling, or sitting under your favorite tree, or listening to music from your childhood, or calling someone who always makes you laugh. Let it ground you. Let it remind you that you've weathered storms before and come out stronger. Emotional strength isn't about controlling your emotions. It's about honoring them and still choosing life, love, and light again and again. What's something new you'd love to try no matter your age? Is it learning to play an instrument, speaking a new language, dancing the tango? Maybe it's something simple, like learning to cook a new dish, exploring a different city, or even just using a new app on your phone without asking your grandkids for help. Whatever it is, hold that thought for a moment, because that desire to try, to explore, to experience is your superpower. Yes, you heard that right. Your ability to adapt, to learn, change, grow, and reinvent yourself is one of the most powerful forms of support you'll ever have. And unlike other sources of support, it doesn't depend on anyone else. It lives inside you. It always has. The challenge. We're often told that with age comes rigidity, that people just get set in their ways, that trying new things is for the young. But that narrative couldn't be more wrong. The truth is, age isn't a barrier. It's a bridge. to deeper learning, richer experiences, and more meaningful discoveries. Because when you're older, you don't just try things, you bring wisdom to them. You understand nuance, you have patience, you know how to fail and keep going. And most importantly, you've earned the right to do things not for status or success, but simply for joy. Take Harold, for example. At 82, he'd never played an instrument in his life, but music had always stirred something in him. He'd grown up listening to jazz on the radio, tapping along to records his brother played. After his wife passed away and the house became quieter than he liked, he decided, why not now? He bought a second-hand guitar and started watching YouTube tutorials. His fingers were stiff, his timing off, but he stuck with it. 10 minutes a day, then 20. He practiced chords, learned simple songs, and one Sunday morning, almost a year later, he brought his folding chair to the park, sat near the fountain, and began to play. People stopped. They listened. Some clapped. Some just smiled. Harold wasn't playing perfectly, but he was playing, fully, proudly. And in that moment, he wasn't an old man with a guitar. He was a student, a performer, a living example of what happens when you choose growth over comfort. That's the power of adaptation. It's not just about adjusting to what life throws at you. It's about leaning in, with curiosity, with humility, with a sense of adventure. And the best part? It's more accessible now than ever. Thanks to technology, you can learn virtually anything from home. Platforms like YouTube, Masterclass, and Coursera offer thousands of free or low-cost lessons on everything from watercolor painting to history to personal finance to salsa dancing. Want to learn Spanish? There's an app for that. Want to write your memoir? There are online courses, writing groups, and workshops ready for you. Want to try yoga, woodworking, digital photography, or gardening with native plants? It's all out there, waiting for you to say yes. Don't let unfamiliar tools or platforms intimidate you. Ask for help, watch a tutorial, call a friend, because every time you try something new, you keep your brain sharp, your spirit fresh, and your life expanding. And it's not just about learning skills. It's about embracing experiences. Try new foods. Walk through a museum exhibit on a topic you know nothing about. Go to a cultural festival in your community. Take a day trip somewhere new and let yourself be surprised by the world again. Or create your own adventure, a 30-day new experience challenge. For 1 month, do something new every single day. It doesn't have to be big. One day you try a fruit you've never eaten. Another day you call someone you haven't spoken to in years. Or take a different walking route. Or read a poem instead of the news. Each day you're teaching your brain, I'm still open, I'm still curious, I'm still here. Because stagnation isn't a symptom of age, it's a habit, and so is growth. When you choose to adapt, you become more resilient, not just mentally, but emotionally. You begin to see life not as something happening to you, but something happening through you. And in times of change, and let's be honest, those come more frequently as we get older. Your adaptability becomes a lifeline. Lost a friend? You find ways to connect with new people. Move to a new home. You turn it into a sanctuary, one corner at a time. Had to let go of something you loved. You give yourself grace, then slowly reach for something else to love. Adapting doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means carrying its lessons with you as you create the next chapter. And perhaps the greatest gift of adapting is this. It gives you back your power. You're not just surviving. You're evolving, on purpose, with intention. And that makes life after 60 not a slow decline, but a conscious ascent. So, what's something new you'd love to try, no matter your age? Say it aloud, write it down, then take one step toward it, just one. Because every time you choose growth over comfort, wonder over certainty, courage over hesitation, you become stronger. You prove to yourself that life hasn't stopped expanding, and you remind the world that age isn't the end of exploration. It's the beginning of wisdom-infused possibility. Adaptability is not just your survival skill. It's your superpower. Use it boldly. These 6 pillars we've explored: financial freedom, vital health, social connection, purposeful living, emotional strength, and the power to adapt aren't just life lessons. They are your lighthouse. They are the steady beacons guiding you through the shifting tides of aging, not as signs of decline, but as sources of clarity, strength, and deep-rooted joy. Each one stands on its own, powerful in its own right, but together, they form a foundation that is nearly unshakable. Because with financial stability, you create freedom. With physical health, you protect independence. With social connection, you stay vibrant and engaged. With purpose, you wake up with meaning. With emotional resilience, you weather any storm. And with adaptability, you remain endlessly alive, endlessly open to the richness of life. You are not behind. You are not fading. You are more powerful, more important, and more prepared than you've ever been. This chapter of your life is not the ending. It's the unveiling of everything you've learned, everything you've earned, and everything you still have to offer. So don't just watch this video and move on. Make a choice. Make a change. Comment below. Which pillar do you want to strengthen first? Let's build a community that uplifts, supports, and celebrates each other. Subscribe to Elders Guidance and hit that notification bell so you never miss the inspiration and insight that keeps you growing strong. And if this message spoke to your heart, share it. Send it to someone you care about, a friend, a sibling, a neighbor, someone who needs a reminder that they are not alone in this journey. Remember, the second half of life can be the strongest chapter yet, not because it's easy, but because now you know who you are, and that, dear friend, is your greatest advantage. If you enjoyed this video, comment 1 to let me know. If not, comment 2. Your thought mattered to me either way.